welcome to our Facebook Live session. We know that you have a lot of questions and we've prepared some answers for you. We will also be taking your questions. Just type them in the comment section of the page and we will take as many as we can. I'm the Vice President for Student Affairs, Stephanie Blaisdell.
I'm Michelle Halstead, Vice President for Administration and Finance.
I'm Linda Eaton, Associate Vice President of Student Affairs.
I'm Karina Karachi, the Director of Residence Life.
We also want to point out that objects on the camera look closer than they appear, or look closer than they are. So we're going to do a quick demo for you. We are practicing good social distancing. So we've also washed our hands really well, wiped down the table, so we're in good shape here. All right, so we have some frequently asked questions that we want to get to first. The first one is the hottest topic, refunds and credits. We're working out the details on the refunds, but here's what we know right now. Meal plans will be refunded according to the portion that is unused. Proportional housing refunds will be made for residential students who have checked out by March 29th at 10 p.m. Checked out means that you have submitted the checkout form and removed your belongings from your room. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in a minute. Athletic and parking fees will be proportionally refunded. The student activity refund is being determined by the Student Association. There are some course fees that will be partially refunded based on activities that can no longer take place. Please check the FAQ list on the SUNY New Paltz website for updates. We will be communicating with you directly as soon as we know your account has been finalized. Next question, what if I can't retrieve my belongings from my room by the March 29th deadline? It really is imperative that we have the flexibility to use those rooms for other purposes. We have a few students remaining on campus and we need to be able to move them to new rooms so that we can practice good public health policy. We also have been requested to make some of our residence halls available for the potential use of housing healthcare workers and non-COVID-19 hospital patients. So that we really need you to move those belongings by March 29th so that we can make those changes. In extreme circumstances, including that you are under quarantine and can't get here to move your belongings, we will bag and store your belongings. We will be as careful as possible, but know that if it comes to this and we need that room, the college is not responsible for lost or broken items. Contact Residence Life if you are checking out, but absolutely unable to remove your belongings. Can someone retrieve my belongings for me? Yes, you can notify your resident director so that they know that you've given permission to someone to access your room. Please be sure your designee knows to pack only your belongings and not your roommates if applicable. Can I move out anytime before March 29th? Yes, the sooner the better so that we can repurpose your room once it's cleaned as quickly as possible. Be sure that once you have moved out, you submit the quick checkout form, which is available on the Residence Life website. If I must stay on campus, what kind of services can I expect? We are going to be asking any students who must remain on campus to sign a new housing license. So that will be a requirement to remain on campus. The housing license is going to spell out our expectations of you to maintain good public health policy. That's including social distancing and quarantine or self-isolation in case you get sick. The campus will be a very different experience than you're used to. Dining will be available, but in keeping with state regulations, the dining will be takeout only through Grubhub orders. All non-essential businesses in the village are closed, and the few restaurants that are open are also carry-out only. The Student Health Center is open, but by appointment only so that we can minimize any cross-contamination. The library is closed, but the library services are open remotely. Some computer labs are open, and the list is available on the FAQ site. we've really tried to keep labs open so that the full suite of software services are available to any of the students who remain on campus. The student union will be open for food pickup only. The Peregrine Dining Hall is closed. Next question, will I have to move to another room? Most likely yes. We need to move remaining students into a smaller number of buildings, and we also are going to be assigning rooms consistent with social distancing, and so that you don't have to move again for self-isolation or quarantine requirements. Next question, what about academic accommodations? Will I be able to consult with the staff from the Disability Resource Center? Yes, the Disability Resource Center, along with other student services, is still remotely available, but the office itself is closed in keeping with the state requirements. Will I be able to access counseling from home? Yes. Again, everything is going to be offered remotely. So for those services, check the Psychological Counseling Center website. You'll want to call the Counseling Center during office hours, which are Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5 p.m. The PCC also has some helpful resources on their website, so I would go and check there for some good tips on surviving and thriving during this uncertain time. So I think we're ready now to field some questions.
Yes, and we have a couple already. So the first is, what about if I have a payment plan? I'm receiving notifications that I have to pay soon. What should I do? Don't have a clear answer for you on this one just yet, but if you have a payment plan and you get refunds, if you get a credit on your account for, say, your room and board or meal plan, that will be charged against the payments that you have, and refunds will be adjusted accordingly. I will speak with the Director of Student Accounts and make sure that they get out clear guidance on whether you need to pay your next payment plan or not before the payment plan date of April 1st. The next question is, will students that were employed on campus be receiving money? I'm asking both for Sodexo employees and work-study students. So these are two separate items. Students who are employed by the campus or are work-study students. So if you get a check from the state of New York or a college work-study check, you will still be receiving money. Your supervisor should be in touch with you shortly to arrange for some work, but we will continue to pay you. Sodexo and CAS employees and the bookstore employees are not employees of the state. Those entities will determine whether you're not getting paid or not, and we feel badly that we can't answer that question, but it's really not under our purview. So get in contact with your previous supervisor to see what's going on with that. The next one is, what happens if you close your child's building due to the contamination before the deadline? Do you want to take that?
Sure. Hi. If your student building is closed, you will be notified through New Paul's alert. It will take about 24 hours to clean that building, and then you can come after that to collect your students' belongings. Please let us know if you have any questions by either calling Residence Life directly at 845-257-4444 or emailing the Residence Hall Director from that building.
And Karina, currently Scudder is closed for that reason, but all other buildings are open.
Correct. Scudder Hall will reopen tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
So the next question is, will accepted students' day be rescheduled? At this point in time, the admissions office is working on alternative options for accepted students' day, so stay tuned for further developments in that area.
The next question is, how are you addressing the social distancing imperative while expecting students to move out?
That's a great question. So far, we've had over 1,000 people check out. Because we gave so much flexibility, you can check out day, night, come in the middle of the night if you'd like. It has really been naturally staggered. We have 14 buildings, so the number of families that are coming at different stages are just naturally staggering. We haven't had a problem with any kind of peak. The resident directors have also been sort of managing, watching for any sort of crowding situation. So far that has not been an issue. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yes, and that it will answer another question about the express checkout form. So that can be found either online on our website. It was emailed to every single student, as well as there is a hard copy in every single RD and RA office. You do not need to see a person to check out of your hall. You could either do that form online, just indicating the date that you did check out, or just slip that under the door of the RA or RD. Since we are not going to personally check you out, there is no receipt for that checkout form. If there is a discrepancy, once we do the refunds and credits, please just contact our office and we will make that correction.
The next question is about the payment plan again. Again, we don't have concrete answers on payment plan at this time, but should you put a stop on your payment plan, I wouldn't advise that just yet. Although I don't think it will cause issues, I'm really not that familiar with our current payment system, so I'd advise you to wait for guidance from student accounts, and we'll try to get that out to you in the next week, which will be before your next payment plan is due. The next one is, if you are a commuter student, sorry, my phone keeps jumping with the new questions. If you're a commuter student, can you use the computer labs? Yes, you can. There is a reduced number of computer labs open. You should be able to find that information as to which ones are currently open on our web pages. You access the buildings with your student ID. So some of those will be open, but stay tuned for the ones that we've got ready for you.
Yeah, currently College Theater, 126, Worcester Hall, Computer Labs, Resnick Engineering Hall, Engineering Innovation Hub, Science Hall, Quickendale Science Building, Vandenberg Hall, Lecture Center, Worcester again, and Student Union Kiosks. Sojourner Truth Library Main floor is what's listed on computer labs that are open. However, that does need to be updated because both Sojourner Truth and the Student Union Kiosks are currently closed, and that happened pretty recently, so we'll update that list.
The next question is, my son's major requires he has an internship. My question is, what are the expectations regarding this requirement in the current climate? I would say at this point in time, it would probably be best to have your son reach out to his advisor and talk to them about that requirement, as those are things that are really still trying to be determined at this point.
The next question is about dining dollars, so I'll take that. I have a lot of dining dollars left over from this semester. I'm moving off campus next semester, but I will still be a student. Will I get a credit or be allowed to have the money roll over or become hawk dollars? So meal plans are very individualized on campus. I want to say that yes, you'll have some options, but what you should really do is contact the ID meal plan office, and they will look at your account specifically by pulling it up and advise you on how you can do that, whether you want a refund or want a credit applied to next semester.
The question, is there an extension to the 29th if needed for moving out of your residence hall? As we said earlier, the Vice President said that we really encourage you to be here before the 29th, and only in extreme circumstances can you come after the 29th. So please let us know what they are. Just contact your RD directly and they will work with you. Also, they're asking about if RAs are currently around to assist in checking out. We have a very limited staff, and we are not requiring RAs to be there to check you out for social distancing. So there is a staff member in the building, so if you need assistance with a staff member, just call the main number and we will help you, but we are not requiring you to see an RA in order to check out appropriately.
The next question is, the Career Resource Department available? Absolutely. All of the staff in that office can be emailed, or you can call and leave a message and someone will return your call. At some point in time, they will be doing remote conferences with students regarding resumes and any kind of questions that you may have moving forward, in particular if you are a senior. They will also be doing in 2 weeks or so programs online that students can access as well.
And another payment plan question, do we pay this month's tuition? Again, for those of you who are joining us a little late, we don't have clear guidance on the payment plans and whether you should pay them or not, but we will have the Student Accounts Office reach out to all students regarding payment plans before the April 1st deadline.
There was a question about the deposit return for rented fridge and microwaves. The company that you rent your refrigerator from will contact you directly. We ask that you leave your refrigerator in your room, cleaned out and plugged in. So they will contact you about any kind of refund. They will come to our campus and collect that refrigerator when it is safe to do so. So you will get that information directly from them when they are ready to come and get it. So you just need to leave that refrigerator right where it is.
Will there be a commencement ceremony for the class of 2020 in the near future? That one is still really up in the air. We are actively working to see what we might be able to do. We know that commencement is one of the highlights, if not the highlight of your college career, and we want to provide some sort of commencement for you. We just have to really think hard about what that might look like and when it might be. The next question is about the process for returning books. Shipping availability to return your books. There always has been. So I advise you to go look at your original agreement for your rented books and follow the directions to ship the books back after you're done using them for your classes. The next one is for me as well. What's going to be done with our lab fees? So certain students have course fees associated with their course. For instance, a painting and drawing course may have a fee attached to purchase the supplies. All of those course fees are very individual. We are currently working with the deans and the chairs of your departments to see what we should adequately refund you. We will be as fair as possible, but we really rely on the individual faculty to tell us how those course fees are used. So stay tuned for that one. Okay, so if you're a student in contact with the instructor from the theater department before dismissal, is it advised to be checked for the virus? That's a really difficult one and one that we are not experts to answer. I would suggest that you look at the New York State Department of Health or the CDC for guidance on contact with infected persons and follow their guidelines specifically. Again, we don't have that expertise, so I don't want to give you some incorrect information.
So I might just weigh in that if there's a difference between you would have received a notice if you had some exposure to any infected person that we're aware of. That notice would instruct you, if you had sufficient contact, it would instruct you to quarantine, and that information should have come in an NP alert. Those NP alerts are going to just the individuals that they pertain to. So if you received an alert, that was for you. But yes, if you have questions, those state or county phone lines are the right place to ask.
The next question is, who do we contact if in quarantine, live far away, and unable to travel to campus to get our students' belongings, but want to check out by the 3/29 deadline? We would urge you to contact Residence Life and let them know what is going on so that they can document that you are not able to get to campus at this time, and let them know what your intentions are.
For the students staying on campus, will the takeout orders from Grubhub still be paid using dining dollars? And a follow-up, what about the students returning that are on the unlimited meal plan? So the director of the food service operations is monitoring this right now, and he gave me the thumbs up before, so I think I'm okay. We have currently swapped over the swipes from the Peregrine Dining Hall and turned them into dollars that can be used with the Grub Hub on campus. And again, students returning that are on the unlimited meal plan, you will have those swipes transitioned into dollars. We'll be able to use them for meals at the dining services that are available in the sub. And if you want to know what your particular status is, call the ID meal plan and they'll give you an up-to-the-minute update on your plan. Will there still be mail services for students staying on campus? There will, but there is no delivery to the residence halls. So students will be able to access the mailroom in the basement of the Haggerty Administration Building. The staff are on a reduced crew, so just be patient, but there is still mail service coming to the campus.
What will happen with the senior toast and all the other ceremonies usually held, like honor society ceremonies and award ceremonies? Many staff at this point are in the process of making alternative arrangements for those celebrations, so stay tuned for what those will look like in the near future.
Why isn't the whole campus being deep cleaned? The campus has been under enhanced cleaning guidelines since the virus became prevalent in the United States. To do a deep clean means different things to different people. As we find that people have been tested positive for the virus, we have actually been doing further enhanced cleaning in the areas that we know that they traveled. Again, not an expert in CDC guidelines or infectious agents, but we are doing everything that is advised by those agencies to keep our places clean and our community safe. Okay, if financial aid is auditing your FAFSA, will there be anyone there to speak with to assist families through the process? Absolutely. The student financial services offices are open. While some of the staff are working remotely, there still is contact information. You can call the office and your message will be relayed. You can email. So yes, we will absolutely have people available to help you through that. But again, people are working remotely and we have skeleton crews here on campus, so just be patient. The phone lines may be very busy.
I think just a word of note that all of the offices are working remotely, but everyone is monitoring their email and answering phones remotely so that you will get your questions answered at some point. It may not be immediately.
The big question of the day, when will the fall semester start next year? At this time, we have no plans to alter the fall semester start date, but as things evolved, we may have to change that. So stay tuned for further information. The next question is, I have 2 seniors in computer engineering. Most of their classes required group projects. Are they allowed to come back to campus? How is that being handled? Each faculty member is determining how and when their classes will progress. So your students should be, you should be, in contact with your professors to find out exactly how they're changing your mode of instruction to meet the criteria for your individual class. Any plans regarding partial refunds for parking passes, especially for commuters? Absolutely. Every single person who has a parking pass for the spring semester will get a portion of your of the parking fee refunded to you. How will and when students that had their spring study abroad semester cut short be credited? We're working on all student refunds at this time. There were 115 students that were in study abroad. These students have a different method of payment depending on their study abroad program. So we're currently working with the Center for International Programs to make sure that we capture all costs that were associated with the student's program and their travel to get them reimbursed. So that, for more information on that, contact the Center for International Programs and stay tuned for more updates. And then we have a pass-fail question. Can you please address what is going to happen with classes pass-fail wise, and if pass-fail class can be counted toward a major or a GE class? I'm not an expert, but what I understand is yes, we do have a pass-fail option. It can be credited toward the major, but I believe more guidance from that is coming straight from the Provost Office, the Office of Academic Affairs, so stay tuned for communications on that one.
I can read from the FAQ, which was updated March 20th. The college is allowing students to opt into a pass grade option for the spring 2020 courses during an opt-in period from May 21st to October 16th, 2020. These courses can be used to meet degree and or major requirements in the same manner as letter graded courses. Students can choose to apply P grades to letter graded courses only for courses in which they earned a D grade or higher. There may be additional restrictions for accredited programs. Students are encouraged to discuss this option with their advisors after courses are graded. The method for requesting the P grade will be developed and communicated before the end of the semester.
Question is the Ridgeview building open and being cleaned now that a student has identified with a positive test for Corona-19? Yes, they are actually in the process of cleaning Ridgeview Hall right now. We are currently keeping that building open since the student was affected sometime March 13th. So the building's open. We are having students who are currently living there now. They are notified and they know the proper precautions to take. Next question is how are we handling selection for next semester? So housing selection for the fall 2020 to spring 2021 will be done all online. You will be receiving sometime in the middle of April information of how you could go about signing up for a room for next fall. So please, we're asking that you check your emails. I know that you're inundated with those, but we are trying our hardest to communicate to you that way. So it'll specifically say your housing options for next year, and we'll be clear about every step that you need to take in order to get a room on campus if you choose for the fall.
The next question is there a standard of how classes are being held? No, there's not. Each class is very individualized and each professor has their own method of teaching. And they're developing those methods as we speak. So each professor should be in touch with their classes and advise you on how your particular classes are going to progress. Students receiving assistance through Excelsior need a certain number of credits. If a class changes to P or F, it might not count. I don't think that's the case. I don't know if there's guidance in our...
There's not guidance in there, but my understanding is that it's a credited course, so long as you pass.
Will students' mail automatically be forwarded to their home addresses? So once we know who is staying on campus for the rest of the fall semester, all other mail will be forwarded to the home address. If it's bulk mail, it will be sent to return to sender, but all of your mail will be sent to your permanent address. Other question in terms of housing, how do I declare off-campus housing during the current climate? Not quite sure if you mean for the following semester. So if you want to be off campus or not on campus starting now, you don't have to do anything but just check out your residence hall. If you do not want to come back for the fall semester, you just don't sign up for advanced room sign up for the fall. So there's nothing you need to do in order to, if you're a current student, you just need not apply.
Can we choose whether we want a refund or a credit? Absolutely. So that, stay tuned for information from student accounts on that as to how you can make that happen. That will probably be a couple of weeks from now, so be patient. Do we have any other questions?
Since some of you joined us a little bit after we got started, we just want to reiterate that the camera is making us look closer together than we actually are. So we are practicing good social distancing.
Shall we sing for you? No. We're not going to sing for you.
There was a Sweet Caroline, but that's, no.
No.
That was a question.
The last thing that I would like to say is that as the semester gets started, stay tuned for lots of opportunities to engage with other students and various programs on campus, online. We have staff that are working on that currently, and as soon as we get back into the business of the semester, you will see opportunities to engage with students and staff members through remote options.
Okay, so we have another question about refunds. Will a refund be issued for classes since they are now online? I know a lot of students are concerned about this, and I understand that. To the degree to which we can deliver your coursework in a different modality, whether it's online or otherwise remotely, there should be no refund for tuition. There may be some different circumstances that would enable a student to get a refund of tuition, but at this point, our every hope is that we get you through this semester with the classes that you signed up for and get them completed. Okay, so we can't answer all of your questions now, but we will go over all of them. We will enhance our web pages to give you more information. And I said this to students before they left for what was then spring break. Please, please, please pay attention to your email. I know that's not your first choice for communication, but it is our official communication mode here on the college, and we also know that there are a lot of emails coming your way, but it really is important that you read them and that you read them thoroughly, and always check our webpage for the latest updates and FAQs. Okay, and if you join us late, please watch this whole video. How's that? Is it a wrap?
It's a wrap. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
questions, and
Stay
stay in touch. We're here for you, and go Hawks!